Hi everyone, our project is called Carbon Light and Photosynthesis. In this experiment, we measure how different light intensities affect the rate of photosynthesis in spinach leaves. To do this, we use leaf discs and place them in a bicarbonate solution. As they perform photosynthesis, oxygen bubbles form inside the leaves, making them float. By counting how many discs floated over time, we could measure how fast photosynthesis occurred under bright, medium, dim, and dark light. We found that discs exposed to brighter light floated much faster, showing a higher photosynthesis rate. Lower light made the process slower, and no light stopped it completely. This experiment confirms that light intensity directly influences how efficiently plants can carry out photosynthesis. Thank you.
Photosynthesis is one of the most important biological processes on Earth. It allows plants, algae, and some bacteria to convert light energy into chemical energy. In other words, turning sunlight into food. The basic equation for photosynthesis is 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O plus light to C6H12O6 plus 6 O2. That means plants take in carbon dioxide and water, and with light energy produce glucose and oxygen. This process happens in the chloroplast of the plant cells and provides both food and oxygen for nearly all living organisms. Many factors affect photosynthesis, including carbon dioxide levels, temperature, and water. But in our experiment, we focused specifically on light intensity. We wanted to see exactly how changing light brightness would impact the rate at which photosynthesis happens in spinach leaves.
To test our question, we use a floating leaf disc method. First, we use a small hole punch to cut small circular discs from the spinach leaves. These discs were placed in a bicarbonate solution, which provided carbon dioxide for the photosynthesis cycle. A drop of dish soap was also added to help the disc sink and allowed gases to move in and out of the leaves. Then we divided the disc into 4 groups: under bright light, under medium light, under dim light, and one completely left in the dark. Each group had 10 discs, and we recorded how many discs floated to the surface every 2 minutes, over a total of 20 minutes. By comparing how fast the disc floated, we could determine which light intensity led to faster oxygen production, and therefore a higher photosynthesis rate.
Our results clearly showed that light intensity affects the rate of photosynthesis. In bright light, the discs floated the fastest. All 10 discs were floating by around 10 minutes. In medium light, the process was slower, taking about 20 minutes for all discs to rise. Under the dim light, only a few discs floated during the entire experiment. And in complete darkness, none floated at all. This pattern tells us that photosynthesis needs light energy to produce oxygen. The more light available, the faster that process happens. These results support our hypothesis and match what we expected based on the science behind photosynthesis.
Our experiment confirmed that light intensity directly affects the rate of photosynthesis. Spinach discs exposed to brighter light produce oxygen faster, shown by their earlier floating times. In contrast, discs under low or no light conditions showed very slow or no floating at all, meaning photosynthesis had slowed down or completely stopped. This shows how dependent plants are on light to produce energy and release oxygen. Our data also demonstrates why sunlight is so important for plant growth and why light is considered one of the main limiting factors in photosynthesis. If we change the amount of light a plant receives, we change how efficiently it can make its own food.
Finally, we compared our experimental graph with the AI-generated graph that modeled the same process. The AI graph looked very smooth and perfect. Each line rose evenly with no variation, showing an ideal version of photosynthesis. However, our experimental graph was more realistic. It included small variations and plateaus which happen naturally in real lab conditions. For example, in our experiment, the bright light group plateaued briefly before all discs floated, while the medium and dim lights didn't reach full 10 discs. Despite these small differences, both graphs showed the same overall trend. The brighter the light, the faster the rate of photosynthesis. This comparison reminds us that real data often include small errors and variations, but they still lead us to the same scientific truth. It also shows how AI can model predictions while experiments provide real-world confirmation.